of the Football S, our first part of the show. The second part is the English Premier League with the two Englishmen and whatever, the Scots and whatever. They're all on there with Kenny Wilson very shortly after this segment. But of course, Carlos, we know what's happening right now. We watch the games. Of course, those games, the Matildas playing Iran, playing the Philippines. Now they played South Korea. They played, how's this, North Korea, South Korea. Boy, did they find them very difficult, didn't they?
Look, it has been a difficult passage for the Matildas to make it into the semi-finals. One was the short preparation they had. Most of the players arrived from Europe on Tuesday. They played the first game 4 days later. It was a rusty performance against Philippines. It was a better performance against Iran. And then obviously a blockbuster against South Korea in Sydney with the biggest crowd for a Matildas game, just over 60,000 people at Stadium Australia. And now we face, they had great difficulties against North Korea, who, in my view, were technically better than us. They had 70% possession. I think we had 6 shots at goal. We scored twice. But we won the game. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly. I have to say, I am very critical, just like I was very critical of Tony Gustafsson. Mm-hmm. I'm very critical of Joe Montemurro, how he uses his bench. Because when I was watching the game in Sydney, with half an hour to go, we're 3-2 down against South Korea, and once again was defensive lapses in concentration that cost us. The penalty was a penalty, but the other 2 goals was beautiful interplay by South Korea that we could not stifle. And with half an hour to go at 3-2, now the question was very simple. The winner of that group will stay in Sydney. Mm-hmm. Whoever finished second, and we had to win to finish first to stay in Sydney and avoid this grueling trip to Perth on the Monday. Within half an hour to go, I'm thinking you need to bring 5 fresh players here, because it doesn't matter where you lost 3-2 or 4-2. You were still going to finish second. And for Alex Shidiak to come and make a difference. This is a game for other fresh legs. He makes 2 changes, and then on the 83rd minute, he makes another 2 changes. Well, it's way too late. So I'm critical of the way we use our bench. I'm critical of the conservative tactics that we have used, Montemurro and Gustafsson, but we won against North Korea. Difficult game, 2-1. We're in the final against China. China is coached by Ante Milicic, who coached the Matildas to an amazing campaign in France in the last World Cup. China, in my view, technically, like South Korea, North Korea, and Japan, are technically superior to us. The close ball skills are just amazing. It appeared to me that North Korea and South Korea always had an extra player. They were playing with 12. So it's going to be an amazing game tomorrow, 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, because I come from Perth. And I look forward to an amazing game. And to me, the key will be decided. I think Kira Cooney-Cross needs to come into the first 11. She provides something different. Mary Fowler has been heavily policed and marked, so she
hasn't touched the ball. Can't do anything.
However, when she has been given the ball and managed to get away from double markers most of the time, she has shown that she has what it takes. Caitlin Ford, I think the top front 3 should remain the same, but I think the midfield needs to be tweaked. We need to find a room for Kira Cooney-Cross, and at some point in time, we need to find room for Alex Shidiak.
Mm-hmm.
She is the X factor, and she hasn't been used at all. Amy Sayers, great player. Claire Wheeler, great player. But Alex Shidiak must be the unluckiest player
Oh boy.
to be selected for the Matildas because she has been benched for most of the times. Anyway,
Let me say, Carlos. About I was watching the earlier games. Look, forget about Iran. We know what's going on there and their political stuff. I think they put them away. But to play that game, the Matildas playing that game against the Philippines, they should have put them away. 1-0. I mean, the Philippines really. I mean, we're getting to the point where. How do you think? I mean, they should have put them away big time. And let me say, that game against South Korea. Oh my God, that game! They just about lucky to get that draw. How do you feel?
look, we knew that the Philippines were going to park the bus. The Philippines' main objective was to qualify for the
Mm-hmm.
second round and be in the playoff for a World Cup spot, which they are. Australia has qualified for the World Cup
Mm-hmm.
in Brazil next year because the top four qualify, and then this playoffs for the other two spots for the people who did not make
Mm-hmm.
into the semis. So we knew that the Philippines were going to park the bus, and they did, and they parked it really well. Somehow we didn't have the the technique or the intelligence to break through the deep block, unpark this bus. And then when we had the opportunity to make the changes, we were very conservative. We won 1-0. Iran was no doubt the Iranian women were in a different headspace,
Mm.
family and danger, communications cut between Australia and Iran due to the conflict in Iran. So the headspace of the Iranian national team was not was not into
No,
it.
it wasn't.
Because you were worried about the family. You didn't know what was happening. Bombs are flying into Tehran and other parts of Iran. Your family could be a
Mm.
victim of this bombing. So your headspace was somewhere else. And then the controversy after the first game when they chose not to sing the national anthem,
Yes.
which the men's national team did in Qatar when they remained silent. And also, you can remain silent during the national. It's also a sign of respect.
Mm-hmm.
The main national team did in Qatar. No one raised an issue about being unpatriotic and traitor. So there's a lot of internal and external pressures upon the Iranian women. And, to me, it's a no win situation. Set the South Korean game. Well, once again, that was the opportunity, in my view, with half an hour to go to refresh the team, to inject five new
Mm.
changes and let the we can't call them bench warmers anymore,
Mm-mm.
impact players to try to make a difference. We didn't. Now we can't make too many changes against China, but it's going to be the same personnel, but for maybe Kira Cooney Cross coming in for one of the midfielders, Steph Cutley, who may recover from concussion, and Haley Russell coming back. So there have to be a tweak in the midfield to allow Kira Cooney Cross to come in into that midfield diamond. Otherwise, if they come on in the second half, it has to be a lot earlier and to go for broke. Because if you lose the semi final against China, there's no playoff for
Mm.
bronze medal. That's
That's
it.
right. It's done. It's
That's
done.
it.
And let me
Mm.
say, if it wasn't for Alana Kennedy, if it wasn't for her, where would we be right now? We would be down the bottom of the barrel. Imagine if, honestly, Carlos, she's the one in form right now, coming in, kicking those goals. It's just amazing. Without her, if she gets for any chance injured, we've got a problem. And not even Sam Kerr's actually playing as well as she used to play. So things are changing. Demographics of the team's changing, and also what I see about Montemura, I'm looking at him saying, Is he really Tony Gustafsson II? Because I tell you what, his changes are they're so late, very late. When you really want to bring someone on and do something, and even when they're 3-2 down, I mean, how did you feel at that time? They were right at the end, they scored that goal against South Korea. Wow, that was so close for them. Very close.
Look, I have been very critical in the past of Alana Kennedy because she has been prone in the past of making defensive mistakes that have cost us games at the highest level. However, this tournament, she has reinvented herself and been there always to pick up the crumbs, the scraps, and she has done really well. She showed beautiful technique to roll the ball over to the other foot and to shoot with her left foot. So
Unbelievable.
Alana Kennedy has had an amazing tournament. Sam Kerr showed glimpses of the old Sam with the second goal against um, North Korea. And also, she had a great assist in the first goal when she hustled and bustled the defender and shoulder charged the defender and took the ball away. So Sam Kerr is showing glimpses of what she's
Mm.
able to do. However, the other, the team needs to perform more cohesively and minimize the errors because China will have the ball. China will be most mobile. They will they will play like South Korea and North Korea did. Always have someone in a triangle and attack through the flanks back to the middle. So it's going to be a great
Mm.
tactical battle. But once again, I agree with you. The substitution and when they have been made, it is perhaps too conservative for my like. And the next question is that no one has asked. It is if Montemurro loses against China, does he go to the World Cup next year?
That's the
To
other
me,
point.
he shouldn't go to. He shouldn't be given the opportunity to take the team to the World Cup. In Montemurro's defence, we have to acknowledge that FA took 10 months since Gustafsson departed to appoint a new coach. Montemurro could easily say, well, I have limited time to put a team together within my football philosophy. So there's a lot. Uh, uh, FA needs to take the blame
Mm.
for take because Montemurro was there for the taking the year before last when we had this debacle at the Tokyo Olympics. They
Exactly.
chose to continue with Gustafsson. Gustafsson went. Montemurro was there as well. However, he was contracted to Olympic Lyon. There was a bit of a payout. You had to bring him over early. FA chose, in my view, not to pay this compensation
Mm-hmm.
to Olympic Lyon. So for 10 months, we were literally in limbo when Thompson
Mm-hmm.
Money steadied the ship,
Yes.
but there was no philosophy, there was no structure. And then Montemurro basically has 6 games or 3 FIFA windows between his appointment and this Asian Cup to put a team together and to implant his football philosophy, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of it, Harry.
Yeah, let me just say one thing about this. The Matildas were absolutely found out by the two Koreans. They were found out big time. The passes, they were playing better than the Matildas. They were playing better, Carlos. How they could they could have been beaten by them. They could have been out of the tournament. They could have not have qualified for, as I said, for Alana Kennedy's goals. But you could see the passes, how crisp they were and sharp and. I mean, we're lacking. The girls are lacking this. The Matildas are lacking this. Whether he's had enough time with them, but you can see the way they've gelled. The two Korean teams have gelled. Boy, they found out a lot of things. On the anti-Militic will seize on this, and I tell you what, he'll be looking at these videos. He'll be looking at them. What do you think of that?
No, I agree. I think technically, China South Korea and North Korea are superior,
Mm.
and that has been the case with Japan as well in that bracket. Technically, they have been superior to us over many, many years. And there are many, many reasons why technically they are superior to us, including futsal, including bigger investment at the grassroots level. So we could spend hours discussing why
Mm.
Japan, China, South Korea, North Korea are technically better. What we have done to counter strike or combat this technical inferiority is to play with heart. We just defended, we gave
Mm.
everything. There's nothing left in the tank. But technically, Asian teams have been superior to us on one-to-one, close ball skills, everything. We have heart. We never give up, and this is where we compete in Asia. We are athletes. We never stop running. We put our bodies on the line, and it will be an interesting game between two opposites side. One that will control the ball, crease passing, and one too many times we gave the ball away
Mm.
in midfield back to the opposition. So we need to be able to pass better, control the tempo of the game, and do not give away possession. Katrina Gorry and a few other midfielders have been guilty of not of giving away possession, Harry.
The other thing, as you said earlier, about our girl, our best midfielder who's not getting an opportunity, you know I'm talking about, Fowler.
Mary Fowler.
She's not really in there getting anything happening. You can see she's underdone. The injury that she sustained, it's you can see she's not going in hard enough, Carlos. She's not going in. Is she
Well,
not prepared because of the injuries?
no, I think Mary Fowler needs two things. One, she needs to have the ball play. You got to play for Mary Fowler. You can't expect Mary Fowler to backtrack, pinch the ball to do her magic. Like Mary Fowler, like Sam Kerr, have come back from serious injuries, both
Mm.
ACL, and I think Mary Fowler has improved with each game. So has Sam Kerr because their overall fitness have improved. So I'm expecting a lot more from Mary Fowler, but I'm expecting the rest of the team to play for Mary Fowler. You give the ball to Mary, and she could weave some magic. You give the ball to Samko to run at the defenders so she could create spaces for others to come into that space. So we need to be able to play for Mary, protect Mary. She's underdone physically because
She
she
is.
just came back from injury, but we need Mary Fowler because a half fit Mary Fowler is worth having. And if she's struggling physically, well, after 60 minutes, you'll take Mary Fowler off, bring Ali
Mm.
Shidiak on, another player who is technically very gifted, who has vision and great passer of the ball, but we haven't seen Mary Fowler, Alex Shidia, someone who's been coached by Montemura when playing in Melbourne, if you recall years ago when
Yes, yes,
Montemura
yes,
was
yes.
with Melbourne City.
The other point is, as I said, they were found out during the Korean teams, and I tell you what, Ante Milicic has the background coaching the Matildas. That's his advantage. He knows the players. He knows how they play, where they play. I can tell you they will target them. I can guarantee you, Carlos, he will target Mary Fowler, he will target Sam Kerr, he will target, and he's been, I can tell you, he's watching Alana Kennedy. They will target them. They will stay so close to them. You watch this game. You watch it.
Absolutely. There's no secrets in football. Everyone knows how each other plays. Now, the winner of the Australia v China game, it is the team that minimises their errors, minimises giving the ball away, and whenever they have half a chance, they score. There won't be too many chances either way, but by the same token, John Montemurro and his staff will know what are the weaknesses and strength of China. and they also will be targeted. I would like to see myself more long range shooting from the box as opposed to always going left, going right. If you're near the box with inside the goalkeeper, have a go and test the keeper. If he goes out, he goes out. But that's one way of unparking the bus. There's one way of perhaps scoring from the surprise factor. Corners, I'd like to see more variation in the corners, shorter corners to the edge of the box. We haven't seen that many variations in
No.
corner kicks a la Arsenal, you know. So I'm sure that they have been working on this because set pieces nowadays are all the rage.
They
Arsenal
are.
in the EPL has shown the way.
They have.
Everyone works on set pieces. Everyone has a set piece coach.
Exactly.
And corners as one, and look, the long throws is another one that a lot of work is going into it, trying to put yourself into a scoring position or close to scoring.
Yeah, and let me say one thing about this is that's in Sydney. Are you going to the game?
Look, it is no. The Matildas game is tomorrow in Perth, 9 p.m.
Okay, they need to qualify.
The Japan South Korea, it's 8 p.m. Unfortunately, I have to work at the office the following day. If I go to Olympic Park, I don't get home till about 11:30, 12.
It's a big day.
There's parking issues, you name it. So I will watch it at home because otherwise I will be like a zombie at the office the following day, and I cannot afford to be a zombie the next day. So I watch it on the telly. I went on Sunday to watch South Korea, Australia with a friend of mine who'd never been to a soccer game. So I went, if you go into a football game for the first time, you have to do an international. And by the time I walk back to my car, because you got to park blocks away from the stadium, because parking inside the stadium is absolutely ridiculous, trying to get out. I was home by 11:30.
Gee,
so
Carlos.
the following day, I was struggling throughout the day, but I'd do it again. If the Matildas were playing, I would have gone on Wednesday.
So we now have to watch the game, guys, in Perth. The time zones and everything is happening all there in Perth. I hope the massive crowd turns up in Perth, Carlos, because they're going to need it against China. All I want to say is the score this week. Tell me what the score will be. You tell me the score. Let's predict the score.
Look, I think it will go into extra time. I think we will get up 2-1 in extra time. And I think the key to winning this game and hopefully the final is how we use the bench, how we manage the player fatigue. Because but for two players, the 4 substitutions that we have to have for Cakeley and Russell has been the first 11 or first 9. But Nigma has come on and off. So the key is how with half an hour to go, we assess how fatigued we are, and we need to use the bench intelligently, and be bold.
Well, there it is, guys, from Carlos and myself today about the Matildas. We hope to be talking about successful Matildas next week. So right now, the next part of the show is the English Premier League review by the Footballers crew. We're back shortly, guys. Thank you.
Football X, let's hear the roar. We hit the field, we own the score. Football X, where legends soar. Run it back and shine once more.
Football X, where future stars are from.
Welcome to Footballers tonight, guys. If you're listening to us, it's the review of the fantastic panel here of course, the Premier League England. Let's start with some music for you. The Cup, it's coming. The World Cup is coming. The Premier League Cup is coming. The champions will find out in a couple of weeks, guys. Let's do it for you. Kenny Wilson, Darren Knott, and of course, Graham Parker, the stats man. We call him the stats man. Here we go. The cup of life, this is the one. Now is the time, don't ever stop. We should have known, gotta be strong. We should have known right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world goes at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want the cup, Kenny. I see it in your eyes, you want the cup of life. Night the days, is it for Chelsea? Manchester United? Arsenal? Let's do it, Arsenal! Let's go, Darren! Here, we are the people, we are the passion, we are the history, guys. What an absolute week it's been. An absolute week once more in the Premier League. We got Kenny Wilson, we got Darren Ott, our first reserve, and of course, Graham Parker, the stats man. Welcome, gentlemen, welcome tonight on Football S. If you're watching, we're going crazy because there's only 8 rounds left, of course, of the Premier League. Wow, it's hotting up. And boy, did I see some games, Kenny. I just saw these games the other day and I said to myself, am I really watching this game today between Burnley and Bournemouth? Kenny, I'll start with you first. Watch the game. Are these guys playing to impress the English coach to try and get into the World Cup or what? Is that all they've got left?
Are you talking about Burnley and Bournemouth?
Yes,
Or who
yes.
Are you talking about?
Burnley and Bournemouth, yes.
Well, mate, in fairness, I mean, Bournemouth probably lost the 3 best players. And a couple of them are potential England players, I've got to say.
Yes.
But it's just at that tail end of the season. Burnley's got no pressure now. They're relegated. So they can play with a lot of freedom. Bournemouth, potentially, if they go on a run, could probably maybe get a Europa spot. Maybe. So, it's funny. It was a funny round. I mean, 3rd bottom, 4th bottom, 5th bottom, and 6th bottom all through.
Yes.
So nothing changed, right?
Nothing changes.
Then this week, I think Spurs play Nottingham Forest. That's a 6-pointer.
Gee.
If whoever wins that, I think the team that loses it will get relegated. In my opinion, I think it's very defined this week. I think.
Let me say, we're just bringing on Darren here right now, the foot golfing man, to talk about a bit of the Premier League for the first time on the show here right now. Darren, have you seen some of the games this week? You must have seen a few. You're a bit of a pundit, of course.
I have seen a few, yes. I was particularly interested in Aston Villa and Man United. But yeah, I think what you were saying about Bournemouth losing the spine of its team was usually critical to them, and I wasn't expecting them to do as well as they have done this year. I thought they might be in the relegation battle. But also what you're saying about these teams in the middle of the table, they're not in the relegation zone, they're not in the European contention. Teams like Bournemouth, Fulham, Sunderland are going to really have nothing to really play for. So you can see these boilovers, if you like, at times. They ended up in draws this weekend, but there's definitely opportunities to see sort of boilovers, and you almost saw one at West Ham, and it could have been the same with Leeds. I think before the red card, Leeds had the better of their game as well. So, you can really see things change around at the bottom, and as you're saying, that Nottingham Forest game is all important because out of the relegation contenders, probably West Ham's the one in the best form.
Now, Graham, of course, your team, Chelsea, can I say a little bit about that one, please? The underachievers with all the money, as I say, every week, Newcastle won Chelsea. They played at Stamford Bridge, is that right? Gee.
They played in front of the Chelsea faithful, and I don't know what happened, but we didn't turn up. Reece James found himself in the wrong spot, and Anthony Gordon just slotted it home. It was not one of my favourite matches to watch, particularly at home to Chelsea, and at a critical time in the season. We threw away 3 points. Not good enough.
As I spoke before about Burnley and Bournemouth, nil all, and what are they playing for? Are they playing for? We should make up a cup and send them a cup, Kenny. We've got to send them something over there to play for something. These mid-table teams, they're going to be there, Kenny. They'll be there forever. They'll be there forever in that mid-table. For how long will they be there? I don't understand. Now I'm going to go to. Go on then. Go on, Kenny. Go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say. I mean, the league's just patterned out the way it has been for the past 6 or 7 weeks. You've got Chelsea win one, draw one, lose one, win two, loss, draw. You got Man City dropping points where they should. Liverpool, they're doing exactly the same. You've got a late run coming from Newcastle, Brentford for that potentially 5th spot. But really, I mean, after that result of the weekend, I don't think anyone's going to catch Arsenal. I don't think so.
Boys,
none of them are showing enough consistency in form to put 5 or 6 wins together. And they have to do that now because I think will it be 6 points? Even if Man City win the game in hand, Arsenal will still be 6 points ahead, right?
Yep. And
Arsenal are currently 9 points ahead, but City have got a game in hand.
So there'll be 6, which is the goal difference is better. So they're literally 2 wins and a draw out of 8 games. I don't see Arsenal losing 2 and drawing 1 out of 8. I can't see it. And then Man United have just marched on. They've lost 1 game in 9, I think, isn't it?
I think they. You've got the stats there, Graham. I think you have.
Ever since Carrick took over, yeah.
So that's probably. I think he's lost 1. He's lost 1 and drawn 1. I think he has also. Yeah,
and so I think in 9 games, I think it might be 7 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. I think if you looked at their form, they'd be top of the league if we were starting it in January.
Yes. And let me say that the next game we're looking at here right now as well is Sunderland and Brighton. Another one that means nothing to me. So that's the point I'd like to make to you guys. It's what are they playing for? I mean, is the English Premier League, should they be more creative and do something for these guys in the middle of the table? I'll ask Darren, should they do something for these guys to play in some kind of little round-robin competition to give them something? It's just ridiculous.
Isn't that what the Conference League is? You've already got the English football. You've got the EFL. You've got the Carabao Cup, the EFL Cup. You've got the FA Cup, and you've got the playoff for positions to come 6th, 7th, and 8th to qualify for the Europa League and Conference League playoffs.
So they got a chance to do something.
Well, certainly the likes of Brentford, Everton and Newcastle do. I think, as I was saying before, the likes of Bournemouth and Fulham, with eight games to go, are probably in that no man's land. But only having 3 or 4 teams at this stage of the season, I don't think is out of order for a 20 team competition.
Yes.
And 3 or 4 of these teams down the bottom, like Tottenham and Nottingham Forest, can get dragged into that relegation battle, and even Leeds aren't safe yet. So that I think last year and maybe the year before as well, the title was stitched up with 5 or 6 rounds to go, and the real interest became that relegation battle. So that's mouth-watering at the moment.
Now,
the difference was last year though, the relegation battle was over in January. And Man United and Tottenham really got away with murder last year because if that was this year, Tottenham and Man United would have probably get relegated.
Gone.
Well, both coaches just cruised into the Europa League final, didn't they? And just did away with challenging in the EPL at all. And because they were safe. That's right.
The bottom 3 teams were so far behind. But the other thing we've mentioned it many times is it was the first year that the Champions League teams that got knocked out in the early rounds never dropped into the Europa. There wasn't any Champions League teams dropped down. I mean, if the Champions League teams had dropped down, there's no way in the world Spurs would have won that cup in a big fit.
Anyway. I want to go to this game because I saw it, Kenny, and I said, you guys always, Kenny always says, geez, the goalkeepers have gone crazy, they've gone mad, they've gone crazy. I don't know what they're doing. They've become strikers. They want to go to the other side. I'll start with Graham first, mate. Isn't he a great goalkeeper? Isn't he? Isn't he a great goalkeeper?
Who, sorry?
The goalkeeper for Everton, mate. Everton. Unbelievable. Pickford is unbelievable. Yeah. He's unbelievable.
Jordan Pickford.
Yes. What did he do?
Yeah, he thought he was a centre forward, and then he got caught out, and whoever it was, ran down the pitch and popped it in the net.
Yeah, Matt Stauman.
Yeah,
and he was culpable for the first goal as well.
Yeah,
and that's very rare. Very rare.
The youngest player ever.
That's good news for me because he's the England goalkeeper. and for the World Cup. So Scotland, and it's good. It'll work well for Scotland if he plays in goal.
Kenny, how many times have you said?
Now, Kenny.
Now, Kenny, you've always said this about goalkeepers. They've changed their position the way they are. I mean, what was the use of him going down there as a massive embarrassment to get the second goal? I mean, you're talking about a guy, the England goalkeeper. I mean, how are they allowed to do this?
Well, I mean, the game's turned into, we've said it many times, but a goalkeeper gets more touches with his feet than the centre forwards do.
Mm.
That's
crazy.
Really.
It's crazy. It's boys.
I think he's scored before, hasn't he? Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, I watched I was watching Southampton last night against Coventry, and they got relegated last year because of the way they played. They tried to pass it out from the back, the goalkeeper. They're still doing it. They're still doing it in the lower league. They're still playing exactly the same way, and it's like frightening to watch.
Can you even think of this one day happening? This is my opinion. Can you ever think of the goalkeeper going off and he puts another attacker on? Is that possible? Is that possible, Darren? You take the goalkeeper off and put another attacker on 5 minutes before the game finishes. Can that happen?
As a referee, I know that one player on the field must always be designated by the team to be a goalkeeper.
Really?
There's no restriction on where that goalkeeper must go, but the referee must know who the goalkeeper is, so he knows who's allowed to handle the ball in the box.
So that means he has to be a goalkeeper on.
Designated as a goalkeeper, but he can play anywhere on the field.
Okay.
If he wants to play centre forward and not use his hand, that's perfectly fine.
Unbelievable the way the game's going. I'm going to go now. Of course, we're going to go. We've spoken about Chelsea and Newcastle. I'm going to go West Ham, and of course Manchester City. You said something before, Graham, about those guys. I think you might have said something now. That game only really brings in Manchester City if they can actually catch Arsenal, get close to them. That's the point I make here. You said there was one game in hand. Is that right? They got one game in hand?
Yeah, there is one game in hand at the moment, and City threw away an opportunity on the weekend.
That one.
In fairness to West Ham, their defence was pretty solid. City couldn't get through.
Boy, oh boy!
And what a difference that solidity has done, because they just looked like a shambles before, and now under Nuno Espirito Santo, he's really got their solidarity in defence, so that people like Jared Bowen and Somerville can go and attack with some flair without worrying that they're going to concede 4 goals behind.
But you really, if Man City were title favourites, they should be beating West Ham. They're third bottom.
Absolutely.
These are games that if you're a genuine contender, they're the games you got to win. I mean, the 6 points plus the goal difference is 7 points with 8 games. You can't see Arsenal losing 2 and drawing 1 out of 8.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, really. And Man City's got to win every game.
They have to now.
I think that's the more important point. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see. I mean, they do have to play Arsenal. I think they've still got Arsenal to play. They've got the cup final this week, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
There is a final, and then they play each other a couple of weeks later. Yeah.
And then they play each other in the league. I think the week later. But the Carabao Cup. But it'll be interesting in the Carabao Cup because it'll be one of those games that winner takes dibs. If Arsenal beat them, it'll be psychologically a huge thing in the minds of Man City that they've been beaten, and everyone forgets at the moment. I mean, even in the Champions League the other night, the only English team that really looked all right is Arsenal. The rest of the English teams are struggling. I think they might struggle to go forward. But Arsenal can win Carabao Cup, FA Cup, League, Champions League.
Bloody hell.
They're still in the running for 4 trophies.
Oh my God! Okay, now next game.
Well, they haven't won anything in ages.
Well,
no, true.
Next game I'm going to is Crystal Palace versus Leeds. That was a non-event as well. They got, I think it was a red card for Leeds. Man United versus Aston Villa. Well. They keep it up, Kenny. They keep it up. They keep on keeping on. Gee, Aston Villa.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say though. The previous coach who got sacked, they were in 5th when he got sacked. So it wasn't as if they were mid-table or anything. So, but what he has done, he's just taken it probably into that next level of consistency. And they've got their tails up. I've got to say. Yeah. I mean, I watched the game the other day, and Aston Villa's a bit hot and cold. I've got to admit. They're sort of, one week they look world beaters, and then the next week they look mid-table. There's a few like that. I think when you look at Liverpool, you look at even Man City to a certain extent.
Yes.
And you look at Chelsea. Very erratic. There's certainly it's not a form that will win you the Premier League. None of them.
Okay, now, Darren, I just want to bring, just quickly, Kenny, Darren, I want to bring you on because a few weeks ago when we had Gary on the show talking, Gary Ward Gary's not here tonight, but Gary did say that these players are the same players that Amarin had, and he couldn't get him up. Now this guy's come in, the same players. Can you work out the difference? What you see, their creativity's changed completely on the ground.
Well, I think a good element or a good player to look at, for example, is Kobe Mainoo. A few weeks before Amarin was sacked, he had his brother going around in a T-shirt saying "Free Kobe."
Oh, gee.
Showing that there was dissatisfaction there. There was some sort of discontent with the players, and especially Kobe Mainoo and Ruben Amarin. And I think Michael Carrick being an intelligent coach has managed them well. And you're seeing that the structure of the team better suits the players. You can play Chesko up front as a bustling centre forward that you can deliver early crosses to, and they're delivering those crosses. And, he's played the double pivot with Casemiro and Mainoo being able to distribute and defend from the back, and Casemiro's sort of had his highest scoring season ever in his career in Europe, while that frees up Bruno Fernandes to play closer to a number 10 role. And just some of those amazing through balls that he played, 2 assists against Aston Villa. He really is an amazing player, and he's held that team together from a worse fate over the last couple of years, and they've been stuck together with sticky tape, and now Michael Carrick's sort of pulling the team together and getting them to work cohesively and in a structure that suits them.
So now, Grant, go on, Kenny. Go on.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, the interesting thing, just going on to Arsenal, all my Arsenal mates and friends, that they've been bagging Djokovic for weeks and weeks and weeks. He's now got 15 goals, and he scored in the 89th minute the other day. That could be the goal that wins him the Premiership. Because, but 15 goals is not bad. It's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But it's when he scores them and how important they are is probably what a lot of the Arsenal supporters are sort of looking at. They never had a centre forward for the last 2 or 3 seasons and never won anything. All of a sudden, they've got a centre forward that they're not happy about, but they're 6 points clear. Well, 9 points clear, but predominantly 6 points if Man City win the game in hand. So all of a sudden, there must be a difference. Now, whether it's blatantly obvious on the pitch, but it's certainly definitely made a difference to the overall performance. But yeah, I think who's top? I think how many goals has Haaland got? 17? Is it 17?
Graham is looking at
2. I thought.
2?
I thought it was 22.
22.
Is that? Oh, you could be right. Is that?
I think Igor Thiago's 17 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Graham, the other point I'll make to you is ever since Carrick has been winning and they've got the 3rd place, no more talk and nobody's saying nothing about Gareth Southgate. It's done. It's finished. It's over. Gareth Southgate will never get to Manchester United. What were they saying about him after the World Cup? Sorry, the European Championship. The team's playing. He's going to go. He's going to go to Manchester United. Not even it didn't go. So now there's no more talk about him going at all. If you can forget about him, he won't get a job anywhere.
Carrick maintains, and I think it looks as though they'll run third.
You
There's
think?
no way in the world Man United will. Oh yeah, they're not going to. I don't see Chelsea or Liverpool catching Man United.
No,
now.
it's too
I don't
late
think
now.
so.
It's too late. Okay.
I don't think so.
I just want to go Nottingham. Here we go. Nottingham Forest, Fulham. Another one of those nil-all draws. Liverpool versus Spurs. Are they on the edge? I'll get to Darren. Are they on the edge? They are on the edge, mate. Really on the edge this time. They are. We're going to check the table in a few minutes.
And so when you're talking about on the edge, you're talking about Spurs being on the edge of relegation. Is that what you're saying?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, because I've never seen a team in such disarray as Spurs in their European fixture earlier this week against Atletico Madrid. They just looked shambolic. Obviously, there was a couple of goalkeeper errors. There was a slip by Van der Ven that caused those early 3 goals. But then they scored another goal on top of that. And they looked, obviously they were rattled then by what was happening.
Yes.
They just looked, even walking out onto the field, like a team that was lacking confidence and determination. And it came as a surprise to me that they could even compete at Anfield. And that's sort of a bit worrying as a Liverpool supporter, because that should be for the defending champion, a game where you just crush the opposition and work on your goal difference. You pay them respect and know that there's talented players, but they didn't. Liverpool looked particularly toothless. If it hasn't been for these 5 amazing free kick goals that Szoboszlai scored this season, Liverpool really has no attacking threat other than Ekitike right now.
Now, let me say, Kenny, Liverpool, they've underachieved this year, definitely. They have underachieved. I think they have.
Well, they've gone from champions to average. Well, I mean, and perfectly frank, Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool are very similar. Erratic form. They haven't really strung, 6, 7, 8 games together where they've won. They did at the beginning of the season. I mean, Liverpool, remember, were 6 or 8 points clear after about 8, 9 weeks. And you wouldn't have backed against them back then. And then all of a sudden, they just went, I think they lost 2 or 3 on the bounce. And they've never recovered. It's
more like 6 out of 7 that they lost in a row.
Yeah, it could be. But the reality is, when you look at them on paper and you lay them up against potentially other than Man City, they've got probably the best squad. When you look at the players they've got.
Okay, so go on.
And the upside with Spurs this week, apparently 4 or 5 of their better players who have been injured come back this week. So that'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting.
The final game this week is actually played tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be any good, actually. Bournemouth versus Wolves. So there you go. Bournemouth and Wolves, Kenny. I don't know. I just look. They might get a thrashing. Wolves might get a thrashing. Graham, will Wolves get a thrashing? Graham, you think they will?
Well, after watching Wolves last week, I reckon they still got a little bit of fire in their belly. I reckon they might at least put up a draw. Okay. I'm not saying they're going to win, but a few weeks ago I'd have said no, they're going to lose. But after watching them last week, I thought they really tried.
Okay,
let's hope they still can.
Yep, this is the table, guys, hanging right now. We're watching the table right. I'm looking at Arsenal 70 points at first place. You've got Manchester City at 61. Gee, could they catch them? Could they catch them, Kenny? Could they do it?
I don't think so, mate. I think it's. I would be surprised if Arsenal, like I said, for Man City to catch them on the proviso that they win their game in hand too. So, and they're only 6 points behind. But the 6 points in the goal difference. It's 2 wins and a draw.
It is.
I don't see in 8 games Arsenal losing 2 and drawing 1.
Okay, we've got. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the biggest surprise is Manchester United. I'm still trying to work out what's happened there, how they've transformed themselves at 54. You got Manchester City, the 2 cities, 61. Manchester City United at 54. Aston Villa are still there. Graham, Aston Villa keep bloody surprising people. They keep surprising people, Graham.
Well, apart from the fact they got thumped by United on the weekend, they're still up there, but it's going to be a tight end for the end of the season.
Yeah, so we've got here.
How many points does Aston Villa on?
Aston Villa are
51.
51, yeah.
51. So they're three behind Man United.
And
but keep in mind, there's 5 teams qualify for the Champions League.
Yes.
There's 2 spots.
That's right.
You're
so
looking,
yeah.
You're looking for 3 spots: 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Right?
Yes. That's right.
So you're not going to back against probably Man United getting into one of the 5. You've got to fancy probably Liverpool tripping through and get 5th.
Let me tell you that
probably Aston Villa and probably Aston Villa 4th.
You're going to love this one. You're going to love this.
I'm forgetting. Sorry. I'll take that back. How many points does Chelsea got at the moment?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Exactly what I'm saying. 49 to Liverpool, 48 to Chelsea. That could change this week. Can change up. They could go up again.
Yeah, but it's a lot, mate. 48 with 8 games to go, against 54. It's two losses.
Yeah.
8 games. It's a big call.
Okay, well,
it's a big call at the back end. And they've got to win every game.
That's right.
So what we're saying is Chelsea's got to win their 8, and the teams above them have got to lose 2 for them to get equal. It's a big call.
It's a big call for Chelsea to get up there, and Brentford, Brentford's still there at 43. Newcastle 42. That could change again this week. Who knows? Whoever loses or wins.
They'll probably nudge a Europa spot possibly. Newcastle on the run. I think they will.
Yeah. So we said Everton 43, Newcastle 42. Bournemouth, geez, they're all in the 40s here in the mid-tables. Bournemouth 41, Fulham 41, Brighton 40, Sunderland 40, Crystal Palace 39, Leeds 32, Spurs, boy, oh boy, this is Spurs at 32. Are they going to fall? Are they going to go down? Darren, do you think they will go down in the next few weeks? I tell you what.
Spurs are at 30.
Yeah, 30 points. That's right, Spurs. And then you got Nottingham Forest in 29, West Ham 29, Burnley 20, Wolves. Oh, we know Bulls and of course Burnley. They're gone. So let's go to these. I want to go to these matches now. The next games are next week. So that's what I want to do. Let me find these games here right now. Matches here. Thank you. And it's now week 31 we go to, which is only after this week. This week's going to be eight rounds left. It's getting warm. Now, Bournemouth and Manchester United. Kenny, can you get me a score here?
2-0, Man United.
Okay. Darren, you're thinking of the score there, the game?
Yeah, I think Bournemouth's one of these teams in no man's land, not chasing Europe and not worried about relegation. And it's particularly a no man's land thing when some of your players are going to be going into the World Cup as well.
Yes.
They might not go in at 100%. They might go in at 90% and preserve themselves.
Very true.
So all the more reason for Man United competing for a European spot to win that one away from home.
They need to keep up there to stay there. And of course, Graham, what do you think the score's going to be?
Are you going to give it a score, Darren?
It's a score.
Yeah, I'll say 2-0 as well.
Okay.
Or do I have to be original? Can I agree with you?
Absolutely. Mate, you just got good taste.
Gee,
I reckon it will be 1-1.
Oh, gee, that's not good for Manchester United. Want to stay up there too. That's the other thing. Brighton versus Liverpool. Wow, Liverpool's form's not been there. So, Kenny,
2-1 Liverpool.
Okay, Darren.
I'm going to say Liverpool to win 2-0, just because I think that Brighton sort of lacks the firepower right now.
And of course, Graham.
I think it'll be 1-0 to Liverpool.
Okay, so now we've got here right now Fulham versus Burnley. Here we go, another mid-table. Here we go.
1-0 Fulham.
1-0 Fulham. Darren.
This one's screaming another 0-0, isn't it?
Could be.
I think it'll be 2-0 to Fulham.
Okay. Well, this is important. This is important if they want to keep on the feet of Arsenal. Manchester City versus Crystal Palace. Kenny?
2-0 City.
Ooh, that's a big one. Darren, hard to think about this one.
No, just Crystal Palace again. Not really much to play for with their attention on the Conference League. So I think that they'll be in cruise control in the Premier League. So I'd say Man City might sort of maybe Haaland will hustle and bustle his way to a brace or a hat trick. So let me say 3-0 to Man City.
Graham?
Yeah, I reckon 2-0 to City.
Okay. Well, let me just say right now, we go, oh boy, this is a big one, Kenny. Of course, you're a Chelsea supporter. I don't know you're going to go against them or go with Everton versus Chelsea. Gee.
Chelsea 2-1.
2-1. Darren?
I'll say 1-1 because I think Everton do particularly well at Hills Dickinson and have a pretty strong defence.
Plus, they got an extra striker.
You're not going against.
I'll go 2.
You're not going against.
2-1.
You're not going against yourself, are you, Graham? Because I can see all the Chelsea stuff all over you, mate. He's got Chelsea all over. He's got Chelsea from top to bottom there, mate, all over him.
Just my normal attire.
These are pajamas.
Oh, mate.
As well.
Okay.
And the pillowcase.
He's got it all behind him. It's a whole studio there, guys. Now, Leeds versus Brentford. Oh God, these Kenny.
Brentford 2-0 for me.
Okay. Darren?
Yeah, I'll say 2-1 Leeds with goal in the stoppage time.
Here we.
Leeds 2, Brentford 1. Yeah.
You going that too? You going that too? Okay.
I'm going to go. 1-1.
Okay, so let's just say this game this could go. I think it's going to go either way. I think Newcastle versus Sunderland.
Newcastle 2-1.
They're playing at St James's Park, yeah. So they'll be, if they're at home, they're probably more stronger there
2-1
with the crowd behind them. Darren?
I'll say Sunderland in the massive derby. And I'll say that because I think Newcastle will be more worried about trying to beat Barcelona at Camp Nou.
Okay, the new camp, yeah.
So they'll be saving their legs.
Okay.
What was the score, Darren?
I'll say 1-0 Sunderland.
Okay, I'm going to go 1-0 again.
Okay, let me get you to these games here. This is Monday the 23rd at 1:15. This is watchable. It's not the graveyard shift, but this is watchable. Aston Villa versus here we go. Aston Villa, and I've got something to say about these two teams in a minute too. Actually, 3 of them. Aston Villa versus West Ham. Kenny?
Villa 2-0.
Oh boy. Well, they're on. West Ham are gone anyway. These are the guys who could. Isn't this a coincidence? We talk about who's going to go down to the bottom. Kenny, Darren first, of course. The scores between Aston Villa and West Ham. Yourself.
Yeah, I'll say 2-1 just because Bowen always seems to score at least one.
Graham.
Yeah, I reckon 2-0. I think Villa might buck their ideas up after getting a thumping from United on the weekend.
Do you think that this next game? Oh, boy, I tell you what, they're fighting for both their lives at this game. Spurs versus Nottingham Forest. Kenny? Gee.
2-0 Spurs, because I think they've got 4 or 5 players back.
They finally got their injuries gone? Really?
Well, they're not all gone, but they've got 4 or 5 back this week, apparently. So they've got a couple that were suspended.
Okay.
They've got 2 or 3 that were injured.
That captain.
So it should make a big difference. Should.
Now, Darren, yourself between Spurs and of course Nottingham Forest.
I'm going to say Nottingham Forest 2-1, and I think there'll be some massive refereeing controversy.
Ooh, gee.
So Forest to win, yeah?
Forest to win 2-1. I think they've just solidified in the last couple of weeks.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Oh my God! I tell you what, I mean,
I think it might be 2-2.
Oh, gee. You got to look at the table.
It's going to be a humdinger.
Look at the table.
It's a big match.
Look at the table when you say that. Look at the table when you say a draw. Have a look at the points. Jesus, mate.
Well, what Graham wants the second last game of the season for Chelsea to relegate Spurs. That's what he wants.
I saw that during the. I saw. Are you serious that they're playing him at the? Are you serious? Are they playing him at the last game or something? Really?
Second last game.
Really?
Yeah.
Guys, before we go, I want to ask, I've got something to ask you guys. I think Kenny would know more about this, and Graham may know. Now, if I was to go and talk to you about Aston Villa and West Ham, and let's say, I think it is Bournemouth. Yeah, Bournemouth. Can I say why these three clubs have got the same colours, Kenny? Why is that? Is it because they were a different? They came into the leagues very differently. Why have they got the same colours? Why are they allowed to wear the same colours?
Well, Chelsea's blue, Everton's blue.
Yeah.
Bournemouth's blue. There's plenty of crossovers.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Admittedly, what you said is quite true. I mean, Burnley and West Ham are very similar.
Yeah.
And Aston Villa, they are very similar.
Why?
You've got to look at them and go, who's playing today?
I know. That's the point, and that's what I want. Why is the Premier League so?
Harry, I think in the case of West Ham, basically they were run as a social competition next to the steelworks, and then I think they borrowed their strip originally from another team, and that team might have even been Aston Villa. And so that's why these. I don't quote me on it, but I think that they borrowed a uniform to start as when they put the West Ham team together, and they borrowed the strip.
It's unbelievable.
And that happens quite often in the history of the English Premier League, which is why a lot of the teams have very similar strips.
We've got a couple of minutes to go. The other point I want to make too, Kenny, is that when you were over there, you were at Ipswich, weren't you? At Ipswich, is that right? You were over there.
Rangers.
Okay.
I did go to Ipswich, but I was.
Let me ask you, and I've been looking at all the different clubs playing in at that time there was no Premier League, and you guys know that. It was all first division, second division, third division. They're showing all the games. But some of these clubs their colours weren't these colours weren't their colours. Some of these colours were completely different. They changed their colours. A lot of the clubs, if you go back and look at history, they weren't really the colours that they're wearing today, Kenny. I looked at some of them.
Oh, mate, look, the home strips are pretty iconic.
Yes.
But because of sponsorship and most teams have got 4 or 5 kits.
Yep.
I mean you get some teams playing in pink, you get them playing in Man United
green and white.
Man United playing in green.
Green and white. Green, yeah. What the hell is this?
Yeah. And this is all from a sponsorship perspective, that they've got more sponsors on the back of the kit. Now, the home kit predominantly, mate, most of the teams, the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, the Ipswiches, the Chelseas, the Rangers, the Celtics, they're all iconic, mate. They might have changed slightly, but the base colours, green and white, blue, red and white. You look at Spurs. Spurs will be white and black. Leeds will be all white.
Yep.
Liverpool,
Liverpool yellow. Liverpool were worn yellow in the 80s. Yellow as well.
I think
there's plenty of them.
I think back at the turn of the 20th century, Liverpool might have had Harlequin blue and yellow. But you have a look at Nottingham Forest, for example. They were deciding as a team or as a committee how to what colours they should wear. And so at that particular point of time, Garibaldi, the revolutionary in Italy, was a really popular figure, especially around Nottingham Forest. And so then they decided to wear Garibaldi red because all these revolutionary protesters would wear red shirts because they were the white shirts that were red from the abattoir where all the protesters used to work. So they'd wear these abattoir shirts, and that's how Garibaldi red came about, and that's what Nottingham Forest adopted as their strip.
Well, mate, you would have thought they would have gone green with Robin Hood, wouldn't you?
Nottingham Forest,
but maybe they didn't like wearing the tight.
Nottingham Forest.
Let's be honest.
Nottingham Forest.
You would have thought
but they see themselves as revolutionaries in Nottingham Forest.
All right, boys.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
boys.
Robin Hood was a revolutionary, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He was steal from the rich, give to the poor. Is that right? What they say? That's right. But guys, tonight you've been watching. You've been watching the crew tonight, getting these scores out to see whether your teams are going to be winning or losing. Check out these scores. Check out the scores of your team this week. Get on here. Check out the replay on Facebook. Of course, we'd like to thank Darren tonight, Kenny Wilson, and of course Graham. Boys, thank you for joining us on Football Less, guys. May your team win. I hope your team's not getting. I hope your team is not getting relegated. But we'll see what happens next week. Thanks, guys. Thank you from Footballers. Join us next week.